Let me put it in real simple terms so anybody can understand it. You see the air, right? You can't see the air, but as an example, the air that you're breathing and the wind, that is a higher and lighter and faster vibrational frequency. That's why you can't perceive it with your senses as far as seeing it, but you can sense it with your intuition. And also, the nerves of your body can feel, the sensations of being touched and the wind coming across your face. And if there's a cool breeze or a fan blowing, you can't see the air, just like you can't see sound, but you know it's there because these are higher, faster, and lighter vibrations of energy. Now, something like this or anything else, the wall here, pictures, anything, that's lower and slower and more dense energy. That's how the five senses can detect these things, because that's in the range of their observable ability. That's in the spectrum of what they can observe and detect and so on and so forth. When I say the five senses are limited, I'm not trying to put them down. I'm not trying to put the mind down, because the mind is a beautiful creation of God. I would never do that. What I'm saying is they're trying to get you to think that this controls everything, and it doesn't. It doesn't control anything except the body. They've deceived you a long time ago into believing that your mind is your connection to God and the universe and the manifest and law of attraction, all these things. Say it, believe it, achieve it, think it, and it's done. Projecting energy from here, your imagination's in here, all, your creativity's all in here. It's not true, because what you refer to as creativity or thoughts, that's metaphysical. Because if they were physical, you would be able to hold them and see them, right? Because if your thoughts were physical, then you could hold it in your hand and show me. But since you can't, that's got to tell you they're not physical. They're metaphysical. So that being said, realize that you are an alchemist. What is alchemy? Alchemy is the relationship between consciousness and matter. It is the ability to transmute one energy into any other form of energy. There's also a chemical alchemy that they try to transform lead into gold. So that's the physical sense of it. But you, as a divine alchemist that you're not aware of, have these amazing abilities that you haven't even realized yet. You haven't even tapped into that potential. So therefore, when you see yourself as a finite being going to work and paying bills and going out to eat and hang out with your friends, you're limiting yourself beyond belief. Because you, my friend, have an unbelievable cosmic ability to transmute this into air if you want. Or you can transmute the wind into a solid object. I know that sounds crazy and kooky and nutsy and off the wall, and no, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, and I don't drink. Never did, never will, thank God. But the point of this video is this. This is energy, the air, the wind. This is energy, what you can see, what you can hold. What's the difference? No difference. It's all energy. The only difference is what frequency it's vibrating at. Lighter and faster, lower and slower. But it's still energy. You are an infinite energy inside an ocean of infinite energy with separate universes that are all one. So you can do anything that you want to. All you have to do is put your energy and focus that with your intention. And in that determined state, anything can be created. You don't have to read a 500-page book. You don't have to buy DVDs and go to seminars and attend all these classes. There's no secrets. There's no mystery or anomaly or great unknown. There's no keys to locks the doors keeping you from things. Not as far as the universe is concerned. That's why I'm here doing these videos, to make you aware of these things. And my content is free. It always will be. I will never ask you for anything. I'm not going to peddle anything. Not at all. I don't roll like that. The premise of this video is to get you to awaken to the truth that you're not a person waking up with a job, got to make money, got to pay the bills. That's what the system, the matrix, Babylon, the order, the establishment wants you to believe is the only thing that you are and only thing that you ever will be. And that is the biggest lie. If you were to actually understand your true potential, you would not be where you are right now. Only reason why you're there is because they never told you these things, because they didn't want you to know. because they don't want you to realize that this energy can be transmuted into this energy or whatever you want. Nothing is impossible because the word doesn't exist in the cosmos. That is a limiting impediment that they nailed in your head. Impossible, improbable, can't be done, unimaginable, unreachable, unattainable, unrealistic. It just goes on. It goes on and on. You can't do it. That's a pipe dream. Get over it. Move on. Haven't you heard these things before? Easier said than done. It's impossible. You can't do it. You don't have what it takes. That's physically impossible. That defies the laws of science and it defies the laws of gravity and physics as we know it. Look at how old science is, 3,000, 4,000 years old, if that. How old is the universe? No age. So what does that tell you? You're cosmic. You have to start seeing yourself that way and stop looking at yourself as a finite being having limited experiences. Because then when you project that out, that's what comes back to you, and that's what reinforces that disempowering belief system that you're carrying that was put inside you by them. They don't want you to be an individual. They don't want you to express yourself. They don't want you to awaken to your true potential. They want you to say, you're black, he's white, kill each other. And I'm proud to be black. I'm proud to be white. If you're proud to be anything, you're blind and you're ignorant and you're brainwashed. Pride is ignorance. Ignorance is ego. Arrogance is the voice of the ego. Humility is the voice of the soul, man. Straight truth. It's energy. There's nothing in conflict. Unless you start believing something that you're not, then conflict arises that you've created unnecessarily. Now you have to expend an inordinate amount of your time, attention, effort, energy, concentration, and focus on diffusing something that should have never been created in the first place, called problems, which are illusions. You see where I'm going with this video? How they get you to create these obstacles and then you have to confront them and then they hinder your progress. This is how it works before I'm going to cut the video. When you're young, you come into the world. They fill your head with all these lies knowing that you're going to act upon them because through the power of suggestive influence, you don't know any better. There's no reference to contrast this stuff, to counter what they're saying as the truth because you're too young. So everything they tell you, oh, okay, that's it. Okay, that's the truth then. Boom, it's in there forever, indelible. You're going to act upon that. And as you go through life, you accumulate more experiences. And that fortifies that disempowering belief system because it's all reinforcing the same thing because you, unaware of your powers, you are unconsciously projecting these things out. These disempowering beliefs are being projected and you're receiving experiences that validate those projections. So you're like, see, I knew I was right. See, I knew I was right. And you're just driving yourself down into a hole. So that's how they get you to destroy yourself. And the older you get, the more staunch you become in these steadfast beliefs until you become thoroughly cemented. And nothing will ever move me from what I know because what I know well and nobody can tell me otherwise. Because I'm old and age comes wisdom and all that garbage. With age does not come wisdom. With age comes gray hair and wrinkles. How many people are 70s and 80s and 90s and still as ignorant as they were when they're 20s? Because they just feel that they know it all. They don't know anything because they've been lied to. Proud to be this. If you're flying flags in pride of whatever you think you are, you're blind and you're ignorant and you have been dumbed down and programmed. Because you didn't have a flag when you were in your mother's womb. They didn't call you any ethnicity or race or class or creed or culture or heritage or gender. You're just energy expressing itself in a different form. That's on the side of God. But when you get into the hands of man, that whole treasure just changes into a curse. It's all about division, poverty, segregation, bigotry, racism. It's all about ignobility. It's all about intolerance, indifference. It's all about hatred and division, lines, sides, barriers, borders, boundaries, barricades. It's about staunch, disempowering beliefs. It's about polarization, dichotomy, trichotomy. That's what it's about. That's what their system feasts off of. So that's what you're projecting. And you're doing this and you're unconsciously convincing yourself that you are a limited being having finite experiences of no qualitative value because it's just more of the same. How could it be of a qualitative value if all you're pumping out is garbage and all you're going to receive is garbage? What are you to learn from the same trash that keeps showing up at your door every day? Nothing. Well, that's where this video comes in. You don't have to get deliveries of trash every day at the doorstep of your home, which is your life. You can transmute that trash can into a treasure chest. It's up to you. Old saying is, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Think about it. You can transmute anything into anything else. So why not do this? Transmute yourself from a finite being having limited experiences to an infinite being having limitless experiences of a qualitative nature. High vibrational, like the air you breathe. You know it's there, but you can't see it. Why? Because it's vibrating too high, too fast, and too light. But it's still there. And this is your finite self, solid, low and slow, dense, heavy, moving like a snail. It's just that simple. You are the everything of everything. You are the catalyst. You're the one that carries the potential to do anything you want. All you have to do is just have an intention, put it in your sacred space, just become the embodiment of that, and then focus in that determined state to make it happen, because you are the life force, your energy. I'm using the head as an example because it's actually your soul. But anyway, you are the life force, the power supply, the fuel source that has to give life to this thing. You know, if you pull the plug, the whole thing dies. That's why a baby is attached to its mother with the umbilical cord. It's the same thing. Whatever the mother eats, the baby eats. If the mother does drugs, the baby becomes a drug addict. If the mother stops eating, the baby dies. If the mother starts pumping poisonous pills and alcohol and toxic chemicals into her body, then the baby's going to be intoxicated and perhaps even die. It's the same thing. Think of yourself as the mother, and think of your dreams as the embryo, as the fetus. And the umbilical cord is your energy, your tether, that you have to keep funneling this life force to bring it through to fruition, into the physical. Because after all, that's why you are here. You're in the physical. The dense, slow, heavy physical. So you can transmute any energy into any other form of energy. And I don't have to go on about scientific explanations, because science has nothing to do with God. Math, physics, chemistry, calculus, nothing to do with anything. Those are reptilian sciences that were brought here roughly 5,000 years ago to control the infrastructure of the system that dominates you. Because numbers rule everything. That's the name of the game. Their math builds their buildings and their infrastructures and their modernities. Sure it does. And it also controls finance. Absolutely. These are reptilian sciences that were brought to this earth. They didn't exist here beyond the 6,000 year mark. It's what I refer to as the event. If you look at the timeline, everything seems to arrive around 6,000 years or below. Nothing exceeds that. Psychiatry, psychology, math, physics, religion, politics, astronomy, astrology, it's all underneath that 6,000 year mark. It doesn't go lower. That's not to say that there haven't been like some individual practices that could be construed as religion. Of course, probably maybe 100,000 years, some of them unknown. You know, people have their rituals and their traditions, you know, from whatever planet they came from. That's a given. But what I'm saying as a collective, you know, a collective that everybody accepts as religion, science, math, physics, the known stuff, the very well-known stuff. That's what I'm referring to. So just understand that you can transmute this into this or this into this. As silly as this example may seem, that's what I'm trying to convey to you. Absolutely. Nothing is off the table because the word impossible doesn't exist. You just have to convince yourself of that truth. Start seeing yourself in a different light, a completely different light, and everything changes. The universe will concur with that new vibrational alignment, and that will be the dominant force that governs the remainder of your reality. It doesn't have anything to do with the law of attraction. I'll say it until my final breath. The law of attraction is garbage. Garbage. They sold you folks a bill of goods, and you bought it hook, line, and sinker. And you gobble it up because you believe it. But what you're actually doing is you're actually becoming a vibrational equivalent to things that actually exist in that field of energy. And of course, you're going to see each other. I always use the example of two tuning forks tuned to the same resonant frequency, like for example, 432 hertz. If you have one, hit it, physically strike it, and the other one will resonate without having the need to physically strike it. Why is it? Because they both recognize each other in the same field of energy. They're of the same frequency. Energies always recognize themselves. If you don't believe me, look it up on YouTube. You hit one, the other one will vibrate. It will sing out, it will ring without having to be physically struck in any way, shape, or form. Why is that? Because they're operating in the same field of energy. As long as you can access the field of energy that your dreams reside in, and you maintain that, and you don't let anything or anyone plant uncertainty or doubt or fear inside your soul, inside your heart, even inside your mind, you're going to be okay. Because now you are in a determined state. You will never falter, you will never fail, and you won't give up. Because now you know that you are limitless, and you're not going to believe them anymore when they tell you otherwise. God bless.